Darryl Scott, what a fantastic geezer he is. We got together, he was working with Tim O'Brien on a project, and I met him in Dublin. They got me over to play bass, and the minute I met Darryl, that was it. I fell in love with him completely. Following him from the little tour, he invited me to Nashville, to his house, and where he cleared the kitchen, set up some mics, and got Kenny Malone in and Dan Dugmore, and we ended up doing about 35, 40 tracks, and this was one of them. And this track, Coming to This Room, was really about what we were doing, coming to this room, and will make us some memories. And we did make those memories, and this track hasn't been released, and I'd just like you to hear it. Since then, of course, we've worked on other things. I've worked on other things of his, but this song and those memories are wonderful.
That I've been saved.
During my drinking career, I got sadly lost in the world. And I don't know how it came about, but Tom Robinson found me living in a place in Bermondsey, and he wanted to play together, so we started. We had to go out playing stuff, and I was just useless because, as I say, it was in my drinking career, and I couldn't actually get anything together. So years later, a friend of mine, Jack Chick, said, I'm doing an album with Tom Robinson, which I'd like you to come and play on. But I mentioned your name to him, and he said, Danny Thompson, but he can't play, you know. And of course, I'd sobered myself up since then. And I said, well, let me go and play on it, please. So I went in there, and of course they were thrilled with the result. And when it said, how much do you want? I said, Tom, have it for old time's sake. So that's how that came about. And it's not just those memories of being on my backside during the drinking, but the fact that I was able to get back and to do this. So it's important for me, and it's a great song, and he's a wonderful singer, and it's a great track without all that romantic story.
Open your eyes. Open your...
Anne-Marie Almadal, great singer, called me up. Would I like to be involved in an album? And they sent me some stuff, and I said, yes, I'd love to, I'd be delighted. And so I got involved with working with them in Christian Sound, and they came over here and did some work. And this is an album we did in England, which was engineered by a wonderful man, Keith Grant, who has sadly died, you know, before he could hear the result of it, I think. No, that's not quite true, he did hear the end of it, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Anne-Marie Almadal, who came over to London, we recorded the album, and since then I've been back to Norway to work with her. She's absolutely fantastic. Her husband is the producer and the guitarist and the pianist, and this is a track off that album, Back to Where It Started. A lot of people have not heard her, and I want them to hear her.
Everything's so sweet.
Fraser Anderson was living in the south of France and phoned me up and said, will I go down there and do some work on his album? And I thought, oh, that'd be good. South of France, drive down there, have a bit of holiday. But then I thought, no, I can't. It's going to take ages. So he eventually said, I'll get a studio in London, I'll come over there and maybe we could do the album there. So I said, okay, so it was quite a long process coming together. I went to the studio, in the control room, played me the track, and I said, well, just play it and let me get the idea, and I'll try and serve the song. So I started to play, and I looked through his little window in the control room, and his head was on the mixing desk, and he was crying. And I said, "Oi, I'll get better." But he was quite emotional about it. He said that he wanted to work together. So that's a nice memory, and once again he's a new songwriter, and I wish him all the success in the world, and I want you to hear his song.